Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I am your host, Sybil, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. So grab your pen and paper, grab a great girlfriend, get situated, and let's get into the show. Hey, great girlfriends. Super excited this week because, you know, every now and then you get hit with one of those stories that kind of feels like a Hallmark movie, but it's an IG post and you and you kind of wipe your tears and read it, and you're just so inspired by it. And so I have one of those today where I read this post, and I'm going to read a little bit for you, but this one post and these two great girlfriends really inspired me to grab them up, beg them to be on the podcast, and get their friendship story out in front of you. So I am so excited. I'm going to read this. It says, in a short time, Kryssi Marie has become what we like to call each other soulmate friends. It was like God placed us on that flight next to each other because he knew we needed to be in each other's lives. She is my sister, a true friend. I'm grateful for our sisterhood and for the joy she brings to not only my life, but my entire family. Now we are planning trips and taking flights together. Love you forever, friend. I wanted to share this story because I had a good conversation about friendships on my IG story last week. And I wanted to share that it is never too late to build a strong friendship as an adult. You can meet a friend when you least expect it. Be open to receiving the people God brings to your life. And the church said, amen. So I want to welcome Dayna Bolden and Krystal Cooper to the Great Girlfriends.
Oh, thank you.
You should see Great Girlfriends. So I'm reading this, but I'm glancing at them. And as I'm reading what Dayna posted, they're looking at each other with like the friend eyes, like, yes, girl, I still mean that. Yep, that's true. Yes. That's so true.
Yes. Yes.
I love that post so much. So much. And like you said, Dayna, that is like one of your most popular posts. And I think it probably got shared a trillion times just because of the authenticity. And if you read the post, Great Girlfriends, when you go back and follow Dayna Bolden, and you got to scroll to get to this post, but it's in there, you'll see how she takes you step by step through how the relationship started, from her kind of ear hustling and agitating on the airplane all the way to like being so close to each other that you couldn't even script it. So I would love for you, Dayna and Krystal, to just kind of share a little bit of how this all became, this moment that we're sitting in now.
Right. Who wants to start?
Well,
they heard my perspective.
Okay, well, I'll tell my side of the story. So, Dayna and I were on a flight to Miami. And I was on the phone. I had just found out that I was pregnant with my son, and she overheard my conversation. And she, when I sat down next to her, she was like, "Oh, I heard that." She's like, "I overheard you speaking on the phone, and that you're pregnant." And she told me that she had recently had a son, and we just connected. We had a really good conversation on the plane. And when we were leaving, when we were getting off the plane, she was in the aisle seat. She got up and she got my carry-on down. She was like, "I just had a baby, so I understand." I was like, "That is so sweet." This nosy young lady is so sweet. So we exchanged phone numbers.
Or no,
you gotta get to that now. You can't just leap to the exchange of the phone number.
So we got our bags or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking, natural conversation. She was telling me how you had just recently had your bridal proposal. So where she had proposed to her girlfriends in her life to be in her wedding. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking to myself, oh my God, this girl is extra. But that's my type of girl, because she actually cared about her friends.
Yeah.
And how, I got them all these little gifts, and I did this whole bridal proposal party, and I was like, wow, that is so special. That's something I would do. So we were just talking, and we talked all the way to baggage claim. We got our bags, and I didn't know where I was going, because she said
I went to school.
Yeah, you went to school in Miami, so she's familiar with Miami, the airport, the city. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. So she just offered like, "Oh, if you need any help, whatever, here's my number. You can call me, if you need anything." And it wasn't even no kind of like she knew who I was or I knew who she was, because we both got pretty big social media presences. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even like she knew me or I knew her. It was just all authentic and organic.
Yeah.
So we exchanged numbers. I don't know if we exchanged Instagrams. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think we did that. We just exchanged numbers. And that's how we got each other's number. But then I remember you had texted me. Did you text me to ask if I made it or something?
No, I texted her when we returned to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we started again having a conversation, and we ended up going to dinner.
Yeah, we was like, oh, you know, we should just get dinner and meet up again, because you know we just had the good
conversation was so good.
Yeah, the good energy, the good vibe. So we're like, okay, let's do dinner. And then we had dinner for the first time, and literally it was just natural. It's literally like we known each other
forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's how it started.
I love it so much. Okay, but wait, you know how there's that that awkwardness that can happen, right? Where you don't want to go too strong, too fast. You know, you meet somebody and you're like, I think I kind of like this person is my type of person, you know, but then you don't want to go too far, too fast. How did you pace it? Like, how did you get to the point where you, first of all, where you felt comfortable, especially in this world where giving your number is a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like,
I remember like when she texted me and I was like, damn, she actually followed up. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like you get your number to girls or whatever, and it don't happen, and it's always, oh, we go get together, and then you never do. But the fact that like she followed up, I followed up, we actually like made it happen, and we, you know, connected at dinner was great. And you know, to be honest, like we had dinner and it was amazing.
It was, because we dinner we realized that we had both recently moved to Atlanta, so we both were like new to, you know, to the Atlanta area. So for us, we already, you know, that was another connection that we'd made.
And she was just so cool. Like, if you know Chris, she is the coolest person ever. Like, no, like for real, her energy is like no other. It's so infectious. And I feel like it was just our vibe and our energy just immediately connected. And even though we had a great time at dinner, the pandemic hit. So like even within our new friendship, it was like the pandemic hit, she had a baby. So we kind of did lose touch. Just, you know, the nature of the pandemic, not being able to see people talk like that. You know, we all going through the things we're going through, trying to stay in the house and just stay well, you know. So it's like we did lose connection for probably about 6 or 7 months. But I think after you had your baby, I started my fitness journey. She reached back out and I was like, damn, we got to get back together. And we reconnected. We've been stuck since. We've been able to like spend time with each other. We've been stuck since.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So wait. Okay. Krystal, what were you looking for in friendship at the time? What were like your keys to friendship? And I hear you saying that you love your girls deep, right? Down to the details, to the bridal and the proposal, to be like all the details. So what is it that about friendship, or that you were looking for, or that you enjoy about friendship?
Okay, well, I wasn't looking for, neither one of us were looking for a friendship, literally. Like, we both have good friendships outside of each other. Like, literally.
And that's what I think, just to piggyback on that, I'm like, that's what makes us so good together too, is because we do have great friendships outside of each other, but we so solid in our friendship together.
Yeah.
It don't even matter. Like, I know that Chris has, and we joke about it all the time. Like, girl, you got 7 best friends. Like, she's like, well, you got 7 best friends, but like, we still each other best friend, you know? It's so funny. Like, we can have that together because we know we just came into each other's lives, but we know how solid our friendship is, that it don't matter. And we wasn't even looking for it. It just, but go ahead.
So, but for me, and I tell my friends, you know, any friend that I have, like, I look for, you know, just being a good person, you know.
Yeah.
For me, that's a big deal. And, you know, like I said, when Dayna and I reconnected, I remember I had just went back to work after having my baby, and I had to work, my fiance had to work, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have anyone to watch my son. And I think I called you. And I was, you know, I was telling her about it. And she was like, well, what time do I need to be there? I didn't have to, like, I did not have to ask her. I was just explaining to her what, you know, my situation was at the time. She was like, listen, what time do I need to be there? Just, you know, text me everything I need. I'll be there. Don't worry about it. Literally, she was at my house on time. No questions asked. And from that moment, I say, that's my person.
Wow.
That's my person. Anytime somebody will, and you know, she's pretty busy, you know, like you always have things going on, always. But she made it happen for me. And that really meant a lot because I don't have a lot of, you know, family here in Atlanta, or I didn't have a huge support system. So that meant a lot to me. Like somebody that, you know, I met a year ago was so willing to just pick up and come care for my 3-month-old baby.
And let me just say something. That support system looks different when you have a newborn. Okay.
It does.
Not many people raise their hand to come so that's like, wow, that's major. Look, people gonna be Googling, try to get Dayna to come over and watch their baby now. They want
and she did a great job, mind you.
I love that. But the authenticity is so important, right? Like you saying that part is just someone being true to who they are, who they say they are. You know, so many times people aren't true to who they say they are. And then when you meet the other side, you know, you're like, wait, I could have been cool with you had you just been true to who you are, all of who you are, right? Not just being the beautiful parts, but all the parts of you. That's so good. What about you, Dayna? What was that thing that said, you know what, that's my kind of woman?
Honestly, I just feel like I said before, her personality is just incredible. I just always feel good around her. And it's just so natural. Like we are literally 100% ourselves. Like we joke like sisters. It's like I literally have known her forever. And I feel like, you know, sometimes when you enter newer friendships, you feel like you gotta like tiptoe around stuff or you don't know how to respond. But I feel like from day one, we've been able to really be ourselves. And I think it's just similar to being in a new relationship, right? And you feel like, oh, I can be myself around him. Oh my God. Like, you know, and I feel like, it's the same with friendships. It's like, you don't have to question their intent or motive. It's like, no, this person is really for me. Like I would literally do anything. In same situation, like we're family. I had a emergency with my daughter and Chris dropped everything. Boom. She was there to help me. So it's just like being there for each other and wanting to be there for each other. That is key. It's not even about like, oh, I got to do this part. It's like, I want to be there for you. I want to be your person. And that's the key.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I got to a point, I have 2 children and a dog. So I guess that's 3 children, right? And husband, you know, you have all the things going on, husband, a whole scenario and stuff like that. And just lifing. And I got to a point where I realized, like, I want my friends, I had never said this before, but I realized later, I want my people, like the people that I keep closest to me, I want them to enjoy me. I don't want to be a chore. I don't want to feel like, you know, it, like if I call, I'm like imposing, or if I ask to hang out, it's like you know, I want someone to look forward to. And when I changed that, when I was like, I want to be enjoyed, I started moving that proximity, y'all. Certain people got a lot closer, and other people I pushed to different circles because I realized that was something that mattered to me. And it's so important. We get to different stages of life, our needs change, our desires change, but we have to stand up for them whenever we do. And I think, like you said, be open to the people that God will place in your life. Part of that is being open to the idea that the people you had in high school or college, or, you know, even pre-marriage and pre-kids, they're not going to be the final set of friends, right? Like you're going to get new opportunities to build relationships that support the stage of life you're in. But being open, you said that in your post, like be open to the people that God's going to place in your life. It's a game changer, right?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Because if we weren't open, if we were just like, oh, you know, this girl I met on the plane, I ain't going to pursue it or nothing, we wouldn't be here today.
I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to listen to her conversation.
Yeah. Right. But God, he wanted me to be nosy that day.
He did.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing, you know, because ultimately, and what I've learned, because as you get older, you have so many other things happening in your life, you know, especially you got kids, you got work, you got your husband or man you trying to entertain as well. Yeah. Sometimes friendships becomes like a luxury. It's like one of those things that you don't necessarily have to have. Yeah. It's a nice to have, but you don't have to have it. But when you have it, and when you want to have it and you want to be invested in it, that's when it's a game changer. Because the friendship at the end of the day, with any relationship, it's between two people who want to be in it. Yeah. And I feel like when you have two people, two friendships that want to be in it, want to be there for each other, it's a whole nother level of friendship.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And we talk about a lot on the podcast about the quality of the time versus the amount of time that you have, right? Like you may not get every day, might not call every day, but when you do get on, it's like you never miss a beat. And you know, and like that person is present with you, or maybe we are folding clothes together, you know, whatever be the case, the amount of presence that you can share, it changes quality. You know, that's grown woman's talk right there to have to go for quality, right? But it makes a world of difference when you are willing to, like, you know what, I'll do less time with better people than doing more time with people who don't really serve and support. So, Krystal, do you think social media makes it more interesting, you know, makes it easier or harder to build long-lasting friendships?
I think it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. How so?
Because for me, well, I'll just speak for myself. You know, sometimes you see people on social media and you know, you may have a connection with them and you might feel, you know, I just feel like it's so easier to feel connected to people on social media, but to actually be in person and feel their energy and their vibe, it's a different, it's just so different. And maybe I'm old school. Yeah. You know, but
no, it's the truth. It's like you can, because social media is about people sharing what they want to share, right? Like I can go a day and not talk or post anything and you won't know what I'm doing. Right. But then I can go a day where I share everything or part of what I want to share. It's about telling a story about what you want to share. So of course someone could feel like, oh, I could be her friend, but then it's like actually getting to know somebody and spending time with that person. And that's when the connection is deep and you really get to experience.
Because also too, you know, like she said, you share what you want on social media. So, you know, people aren't sharing
the lows.
Right. And the things that they're really going through in life, you know. So it's like you only see the good, you know. And so I think a test is when you're a friend to someone while they're going through something or while they're, you know, being there for them when they're going through adversity.
Yeah. And outside of social media, outside of a comment or outside of a swipe up DM and say, hey girl, you look cute. Yes. It's like, how are you fueling me outside of these DMs? How are you, you know, added value to my life just by being in my life, you know? So social media can have that faux presence of, I know what's going on because I seen her yesterday on her stories. No, you don't really know what's going on in my life. And I think that's how you really build deep connections with people, is by showing up in real life.
Yes. In real life.
In real life.
In real life. That's the whole truth. Showing up in real life is so important. So important. So, okay. So what would you say has been your number one key? Because both of you have mentioned that you have like beautiful, great girlfriendships that you've had, and then you add new ones and you say you have 7 best friends, which to me is like, that's the soft spot where you like, which best friend do I want to talk to about this situation? I know I can't call her about this because unless she gonna call the other one. That's my life story.
Yeah, on that number, but we do have really strong, good girlfriends.
Yeah. But you know, just having quality and like, you know, not necessarily out on the street, not thirsting for it, but open when it comes. But what would you say has been the key to making that possible for you over the course of life? Like, you know, all the different chapters that you have. What have you done consistently to make sure you have the right type of women in your corner?
I show up.
Showing up. Okay. Great girlfriends show up. That's tip number one.
Show up. If you want people to show up for you, you have to reciprocate that. You have to show up. You can't expect things from friends that you don't give.
Yes.
You know,
ooh, preaching, Krystal. Because that's the trip though, Krystal. That's where the letdown happens. People have such high expectation from other people. And then when that delivery doesn't match up, they feel let down, but you didn't give it. So how, you can't get it back. You didn't sow any seed in that soil. Where's your, how you going to harvest there? I don't, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's so.
What would you say, Dayna?
That's one of my keys too with showing up. It's just like, I am also that friend that's going to show up for my, like, if it's within my being to be there or to do something for you and you my girl, I'm going to be there and I'm going to show up because I want you to know that I care. And I feel, that is important, but also just like, I don't know, just really, really being there for it, not judging, not judging people's situations or what you're going through, because I think that's when you can be vulnerable. It's like, I know I can come to Chris with any problem I have and there's no judgment. And she can also say, and then we can give each other unbiased opinions. You don't give it to me straight, like, girl, nah, you was wrong on that, girl. Like, it's been so many times when I'm coming to her bit and like, he did, and she was like, well, he had a right to, it's able to be each other's sounding board and give each other great advice.
Yes,
and
I still that. Be in your corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I hear you saying, Dayna, about that. You said, you talk about, what I'm hearing is safe space. Is being a safe space for the good and the bad, right? Like, life is full of both, and they'll just be there to clap for me when I need, I might need a little pinch or a spank on my hand, and, be there for me, give that to me, and then clap me up. But also, if
real. Being real with your friends. I mean, I don't want a friend who is afraid to tell me if I'm not doing something right. And if I consider you a friend, I take it from a place of love. You know what I mean? Like, tell me if I'm not doing something right. Correct me. Show me the right way. Show me how I, how I should be doing things, or how I could have said something better or done something better. I think those experiences with your friends make your relationship stronger as well. I mean, there are, several times I've come to you about things and you're like, well, I personally would not have handled it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how would you have handled it? And I'm learning from you. I'm taking something from you. And so it feels good to be able to, learn from your friends and be able to take something from your friends and know it's from a good place.
Absolutely. Right. That's that iron sharpening iron. I love it. And it's nothing more special than being seen by someone, when someone can really see you and they see you and they love you and they can respect you and make space. Like, I see you. She saw you. You saw her on the flight. She overheard your conversation, and it don't take much, honestly, to hear the quality of a person, the caliber of who they are. There's a few things they can say. They can glance, they can smile. It's different gestures that they can offer that kind of let you know, like, oh, she might be a kind person, or she might be a fun person, or, there's certain things. But I hear that you both were saying you saw one another, and then, you created some heart space for one another. Like, it doesn't even take a lot of space, honestly. Just give me a little heart equity. And give me some heart equity, right? And shoot me a text and say you good, and stop by. And then the sweet spot of this whole friendship, great girlfriends, I'm gonna let them tell you how close they actually live to one another. This is just insane to me.
Yes. We live on the same street, 15 minutes, down the street, but on the same street. When I turn out of my neighborhood, I don't have to make another turn until I'm turning into her neighborhood.
So it's crazy. I mean,
was just, I swear,
it was meant to
God.
be.
Yes.
It was literally meant to be. It's like, now I just can't even imagine not having you in my life. Like, I'm like,
it would be so weird. But it's crazy because, like, our families know each other now. It's just, we have really built a really strong bonds and connection, and in sisterhood.
Oh, I love it. Okay, last question. Friendship persona. Are you, who's the Gail? Who's the Oprah?
I think we both have our moments.
Yeah.
I think we both have our moments. I think we balance each other out, honestly. Dayna, she is so much fun, but she also can be really chill at times. I'm, ready to turn up, but also too, I'm like, look, no, we not.
Right.
Look.
Yeah. It's like a healthy, perfect balance.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
And no one's a diva.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
And it's like we're at this point where we're building.
Yeah.
And I love that we always look out for each other in that.
Yeah.
People say like, girl, when we make it, we get our Chanel bag. Like I remember when you first said, she's like, girl, when I get this money, I'm gonna buy you a Chanel bag. And that just like really touched me because I'm like, the fact that she would think about me first.
Yeah. Look at me about to cry. I'm
like she's always
that is so beautiful.
Like, damn, like I can't wait to that moment. And y'all gonna see it on Instagram. We walk in there and we buy each other Chanel bags.
Yes. And it's coming soon.
Right.
Okay, wait, y'all call me. I just want to record it. I might possibly buy because I haven't bought my first Chanel. I keep holding off. I don't know why, but I'll deal with that somewhere in my life. But I keep holding off.
When you can like buy yourself, right? Because we both have bought each other, bought our own designer bags. But it's like walking into being able to drop $5-6 grand on your girlfriend, like that is the level that we both try to get to, and we want to do for each other. You know what I mean? We want to be able to say, "I love you. I want to get you this." You know?
Yeah.
So you deserve it.
You deserve it.
I love it. I love that so much. So okay, so then is there who's Rose and who's Dorothy? We're going Golden Girls or Blanche. There might be a Blanche Devereaux between the two of you. I'm not sure.
That's been a long time. Give us another example.
Right. How can we? Okay, Golden Girls. Come on. All right.
That was a long time ago.
I wasn't the Golden Girls.
What? No, okay.
I'm sorry.
No Golden Girls. Okay, we're not Golden Girls. All right, we're Destiny's Child.
Okay. I'm Kelly, of course, because I just love Kelly.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Beyonce. She could be Beyonce. I'll be Kelly.
Girl, listen, Kelly is giving me a whole wind right now with this whole, she's just, I love it. I love it. Okay, great girlfriends. Where can our great girlfriends keep up with you? I want to thank you, first of all, and we'll get back to that, but thank you so much for the transparency of even putting up the post, Dayna, and knowing that other women needed it, and even just the way that you all have connected and cultivated the relationship and just keep flourishing and just doing whatever, friendship, it takes maintenance, right? And doing the behind the scenes, because I can't recall when the post was, but you were like, and a year later, here we are, in this really great space because you've cultivated behind the scenes and really fertilized the soil. So kudos to both of you. And I love it because it's just evidence of what's possible. And it's the truth, what you said. God will always bring the right people, but we got to do something with it when we get them, right? We can't just, nice to meet you, girl. Have a good trip like that. It can't, what else is the big question? What else? Like, what else can happen? So I just want to celebrate that. But also for them that want to keep up with you all and your friendship journeys and chronicles and just your life stories, because like you say, you both are building different things with your brands and could always use public support. Where can they keep up with you?
Well, you can definitely find me on Instagram and all social at Dayna Bolden. And my website, daynabolden.com. Definitely follow me there.
Awesome.
At Kryssi Marie, KryssimAri.
Perfect. I love it. I love it.
It's going to be 2022.
Yes.
We ready, y'all. We ready to keep up. Thank you so much, great girlfriends.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Great girlfriends, did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast, into the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group, The Great Girlfriends. You follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at The @greatgfs. Last but not least, we'd like to thank my amazing husband, Kwaku, Sam and Dilly, and all of you for being a part of the global community that makes us so strong. Please remember to share with your friends, keep listening, and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.